Hey everybody, this is Diane with Crafting with Fury. Welcome back to part 2. Let's put this accordion album together and let me show you real quick what we're doing. I made this accordion album for Miss Judy, which is my scrapbook loft. Hey girl. And I was asked if I would do a tutorial on how I created it, and I was like, sure. So what I did was I created a belly band, and then this is the accordion album that I created. And in the video, the last video, which was part 1, and I will link it down below, I showed you all of the measurements, and I showed you how to cut everything out and score and tape. So on this album, or on this video, let's put her together. So all I'm going to be using is my Echo knife, which is to take the tape backing off, and then you will need a bone folder. That way you can make sure you burnish everything down well. So what we're going to start with is our main album, which you will need one 6x6, and you will need, this one is 7 inches by 6, and we've already scored and everything. So let's put them together. Now, this is going to be your first page, and I'm going to kind of put everything aside, and hopefully I'm in frame. So what we're going to do is we're going to get one of the pages that's got the tape and the flap. We're going to get our 6x6. All right, so let's go ahead and take the tape off of this one. And see, this is where your Echo knife comes into play, because I have, even with my nails, I have a hard time. So what you want to do is, you can see the tape on the page. When you are attaching your pages, make sure you do not go over the score line, because if you go over the score line, then your pages will not lay correctly. And try to lay them on as even as you can. But if you can't do it even, you know, you can always create, cover it up and do the best you can. All right, so come on. All right, so there we go. And so here is our first page, and then it opens up like that. So now what you want is another page that's got the flap and the tape. So let's go ahead and take our backing off. And what you'll want to do to make the accordion, you want this page attached to the back of this one. That way it'll open up. So what you'll do is put your page, and I'm right-handed, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to flip it because it's easier for me to do this way than the opposite way. So what I want to do is I want to attach this to as close to the score line as I can without going over, and as even as I can. So there you go. So now we have got this and this. So now we're wanting to attach this one here. So that way you've got, it'll open like this, and then this will be this side here. So, and a lot of times, and I'll show you my process, it's like I flip and I'm like, nope, that don't go that way. So the easiest way to figure this out is, you know that it's going to accordion out. It's going to accordion out. And you want this one to, let's see. See what I mean? So see, you're getting a really good taste of how my mind works. All right, so if this accordion's out, this accordion's out, then this will accordion out. All right. So you want it to look like this. You want this to look like this. And then this one is going to be your back flap. So you know that you want this attached to here's your accordion. And you can kind of look at it, it looks like a Z. So we want to attach it to this one right here. So see, you've got all these flaps. So let's just attach this baby. And that's how it's hard. You know, sometimes you think, oh man, I've glued it to the wrong way. You just have to keep, excuse me, you just have to keep looking and looking and looking until you get it right. So make sure that you don't go over the score line. Put it as close to the score line as you can without going over. There we go. So let's see if I did it right. Hey, open, open, and it accordions. Yay, we got our binder. And what you want to do is you want to burnish. You want to make sure on all of the, where you've taped everything, you want to make sure that you burnish it down so your tape will stick. All right, so now we've got our binder, guys. Woohoo! All right, let's do our pockets. All right, so what we're gonna do is, here's your first flap. Here's your pocket. Let's go ahead and you wanna make sure that you burnish down the pockets so they will lay flat. And I do them 2 or 3 times. That way you know that they will lay flat. Let's get the backing off of your tape. And the way I do my pockets to make sure that they lay flat, you want to do the corner. I'm trying, can you see? I'm trying, it's hard because I want to put my head right over, but do this corner here, this corner of your page, because you do not want to put your pocket on this score line or it will not lay flat. So I'm gonna see how I can do it without you all see my little red head in the camera. Line it up. Because if you can get this corner lined up, the rest of it will fall in line. There you go. So now, okay, awesome, woohoo. So burnish, burnish, burnish. And I think I actually went over just a tad, but that's all right. But you kind of get the gist of it. So let's do our other pocket. Now we want to burnish it down. It just makes it easier and lays flat. My mat keeps moving. All right. Let's take our tape backing off. All right, so what you want to do is start right here at the score line. Do not go over. Get to as close of it as you can. Line it. Uh-oh. Oh, ding dong. Oh, I hate when that happens, but it won't show because of the pocket. We'll cover it. This is that flap where it's scored. And so see, okay, prime example. This is where it folds. This score line is where you need to put your pocket, not where the flap is. Prime example, see? All right, so this is the score line where it folds. This is where you want to line up your pocket. I hope you guys can see. Using black paper, I know, is kind of hard to really see. Because I found out because of where. All right, so let's make sure that it folds. There we go. So now we've got our pocket. There's 2. Let's do our third pocket. We're going to burnish, burnish, burnish. Burnish on your score lines. That way you know your pocket will lay flat. And let's take the tape backing off. Come on. Work with me, hands. Work with me, hands. Make sure none of your tape is overlapping. All right. Get as close as you can to the score line without going over. And just lay it right against the score line. And if you can get your first one the other one will just fall into place. And I always like to check to make sure. And you can tell right here that I kind of went over, but that's okay. Nothing's perfect. We can always work with that. All right, so we got that one, and then we want these two here, because I don't think that I put on the back flap, I don't think that I, 1, 2, 3, I guess I did. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, okay. You guys are getting a taste of my poor mind, how it works. Burnish, burnish, burnish. And I like my album to lay flat because it's easier to put your pockets on. Take your back tape or your tape backing off. And on this one, we want to line it up with this corner because it's the very far corner, and get it as far over without going over as you can. Ta-da! So there we go. We've got all of our pockets on this side, and you don't even have to put pockets on, you know, every page. There we go. So now let's flip it over, and we're going to put pockets on these two pages because these are the inside. And so that just gives you a lot more real estate to put things in and everything. So these are the pages we want to work with. I'm going to lay them flat because it's easier. And here is our 5th pocket. Let's burnish it down. Burnish it down. Burnish it down. Burnish, burnish, burnish. Take your tape off. Take the tape off. Make sure no tape is hanging over. And let's start with this corner here. Line it up the best you can with the score line without going over. And the other one will follow. And let's burnish this one. And burnish. And burnish. All right. We will take the tape backing off. We will lay down our last pocket. And let's line it up the best we can without going into close and without going over the score line. The other one should fall in. All right, so let's see how we did, guys. Here is our binder. Open, open, close, and then you can flip it on the back. So there you go. We made our accordion binder. And what you want to do is you want to make sure that you do burnish again on all your pockets. Whoops, I did my poor paper. But I can cover that to make sure that your pockets is adhered to the paper. You can never burnish enough. All right, so there you go. We have made our binder, our accordion binder. Woohoo! All right, so now what we need to do is make our belly band. And so let me get this paper out of my way because it makes me a nervous wreck to have all of this backing paper all over my workspace. And we are going to move that and move that. And I use glue on this because you could use tape, but I just like to use my glue. And I'm just going to use my Bearly Art glue on this one. All right. So here's our belly band. You're going to fold it on the score lines. And this piece is the 12 inches by 1. So there's your first piece. And then here is the second piece that I was telling you about that you're gonna glue on the back. So let's get this out of the way and let's glue this. I'm gonna put this up so I don't lose it. So what you wanna do is make sure your glue is on there really well. And we're gonna lay the first piece on it because you wanna make sure that it adheres, because this is gonna keep your album together. All right, and then we are going to glue this here. Put glue, 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 glue. All right. And then we are going to adhere this flap to this side and just kind of hold them together until they dry. And I always like using quick drying glue because I'm too impatient to wait hours. I want seconds. Maybe a minute, but seconds. All right, and I'm going to hold it down just for a couple more seconds because I think it's glued. And let's see if I measured right. And really, to be honest, you can wait to do your belly band after you decorate your album, because you never know how thick it's going to be. And so see, I've still got plenty of room to decorate for it to work. So guys, guess what? We made an accordion album together. There you go. Now, real quick, when you mat, normally what I do when I mat, I will take the measurement of my album, and I will either, it depends on what kind of border you want. If you want like a little border, then I normally do anywhere from 1/8 of an inch less or 1/4 of an inch less. So if I was matting this, where is my ruler? Oh, here it is. If I was matting this, what I would do is I would take probably, because it's 6 inches, I would probably, if I was matting, I would probably mat it, I kind of like 1/4 of an inch. So I would probably make my mats for my pages 5 3/4 by 5 3/4. So that would give you 1/4 of an inch of a mat on each page. And on my pockets, I would probably do the same thing. I would just take 1/4. So see, you've got a 6 here. So I would make your mat 5 3/4. And see, we took a 1/2 inch for the flap. So what I would make that is 2 1/4. So make your mat on your pockets 5 3/4 by 2 1/4. And then what you can do for your mat up here, you can do because you want, this is how you'll cover your flap. Do the 5 3/4, and you don't have to go all the way down, so you can save some paper here. And I would probably make this 4. So make your mats in your pockets 5 3/4 by 4. And that way you can just do a little bit of your paper there. So there you go, guys. I appreciate you so much for hanging with me on this tutorial. And if you got any questions, just leave them below, and I'd be happy to get back to you as quickly as I can. I hope each and every one of you have a very safe and blessed weekend, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.